let's have a talk. Let's talk about loss recovery figures. Okay. This changed my mindset. Okay. I say that about a lot of stuff, but this is really why I'm doing this whole mentorship and this program and these videos. These are the things that slowly built into my mindset that allowed me to become profitable. So take this one to heart, right? Okay. Every trader, in my opinion, starts with this mindset. The more I trade, the more I can make, the more money I get, and so on. Okay. If I'm a good enough trader, I can put whatever law or whatever risk on the table, and as long as I'm good enough, I've got this. I'm telling you, I have taken $400. I turned it into $6,500 overnight because I was like, YOLO, bro. Okay, the problem with that is the greed in that mindset. You try to sell $3,000 of that because, man, your mind starts crunching numbers, dude. What if this trade or this coin or whatever investment you made keeps going? My $400 is going to be $4 million. Why would I trade or why would I sell half of it now? I don't want 2 million. I want 4. Okay. Anyway, in my opinion, that's where the mindset starts. And the mindset takes you to this table. All right. This is why they say it takes money to make money. All right. This is why I trade prop firms. I try to trade reputable prop firms. I know some of them can be sketchy. That's why I do lean into TopStep. As of right now, TopStep, in my opinion, is outstanding. And yes, they make money off you losing. So yes, they like their system created in a way that makes you lose. But if you understand how to play that system, you'll do well. Okay. So it takes money to make money. All right. If I lose 5% of my account, I need 5.3% back. So to go back to where I was at break even. All right. That's not so bad, right? That's legit not so bad. If I had $100 and I lost $5, I need $5.30 to go to make it back to $100. Dude, that's not so bad. Okay, imagine this at 1%. What I need $1.10, right, to make it back, or actually it's a lot. I think it's like $1.05. I'm not that much of a number cruncher. Okay, at 10%, I need 11.1%. Okay, and you look at this chart. This chart is a slippery slope. Okay, I've worked with a lot of people. I worked in algorithmic trading for a long time. I still do. And I worked with people who, they're like, dude, trading 10% is no big deal. I'm like, you got a 70% win rate, which is fantastic, and you're going to trade 10% on that? I was like, dude, you could lose like 5 trades in a row and you would still be within your 70%. And those that have watched my other video on the R&R, you know what I'm talking about, okay? So 5 trades at 10% each takes you where? To 50%. Now you need to double your account just to get back to break even, okay? This is where people get that mindset, and I've seen it in a lot of crypto traders because crypto's super volatile. So that's where everybody goes to make trades. I was that trader too, and I did, eventually I did well, but it was because I learned this, okay? It was because, I had a, $10,000 account that I wouldn't risk, more than, maybe 2-3% on a hefty trade. Okay, and if I lost a trade, I would risk even less. And if I lost another trade, I'd risk even less. And then when I started hitting my winners again, then I would start ramping back up. I would start slowly adding more risk. Okay. And that worked. It was, this is where you end up with like kamikaze trading. This is where you end up like really once you hit this 50% loss, you're like, dude, I'm either going to YOLO and get back to where I was, or I'm going to YOLO and I'm just going to lose it all. And I just suffer from the whatevers. Okay. Some of you guys understand what I'm talking about there. Okay. This is a true mindset. Okay. People who have millions of dollars, that's how they make money because they'll take 1 million of it and they risk very little per trade. So, I mean, they could take 20 losses and maybe they're just now hitting this 10% loss. And that's 20 losses in a row. Okay? And they're only down, 11%, 11.1%. That's not the end of the world. Okay? The problem is with 20 losses, any of these kind of figures, even if it was 1% risk, 20%, actually you're at the 10%. Okay? Actually, sorry, 1% risk, 20 losses is 20%. You need 25 to get back. I mean, that's starting to hurt. Okay, you risk 2%, 20 losses, 2 times 20, 40%. This is where you're starting to cry. Okay, this is where your mindset starts to break down. This is where you start making emotional decisions and you start risking more and more because you know how far back up you need to climb. Okay, don't mess with this slope. All right. My suggestion is if you're brand new, if you're doing a combine, okay, and your max drawdown is $3,000, then risk like $50, right? Or like $100 per trade and give yourself so much room. Because who cares if it takes you 6 months to become funded and that's the time you use to perfect your trading strategy and perfect your mindset. Well, you can't perfect it. You can't be perfect, but you understand what I mean. You're going to get it to the point where you are consistently profitable over time. Okay, that's what people I think that's where people mess up. Is they find a strategy, they get like 6-7 wins in a row and they're like, "Whoa, let's go. This thing, I found the golden goose." Okay? I actually used to call it that. I found the golden egg. This goose is just pooping out golden eggs, man. Let's go. I'm gonna start cranking some. Dude, if I can risk 10% and I can make 70% on my money. Oh, you start like flexing. You're like, let's go. The problem is you losing 7 or 8 trades in a row could be a part of your plan. You just don't know it because you didn't make a plan. Okay, so this is something I just want to like instill in everybody. Okay, this loss recovery figures is how rich people invest. Okay, they're very smart with their money. Very few rich people be like, "Oh, I've got $8 million," which to me that's a rich person. Okay, all right. Spoiler alert: I am not a multi-figure millionaire. All right, so people who have 8, 10, 20, $100 million, when they're not going to risk $100 million of their money, they're crazy. They're also going to have a diversified portfolio. Okay, they're not just going to be trading. Most likely, they're probably not at that point. They're doing real estate. They're doing other stuff. Okay. Um, Getting sidetracked a little bit, but this is just important. It's because if they do take an investment risk and they do buy some stocks, they're not buying 35% risk on their money. Okay. They're like putting pennies on the dollar income, for what they have. We need to be able to do the same. All right. And people are like, well, how do I do that if I'm broke? Well, you start trading combines. I would say, you put aside about 200 to $300 a month. You could do it for less. Okay. Hear me out on that. You could do it for less. But if you take $200-300 a month and you pour that into yourself and you start trading combines, you can start testing yourself and you can actually run the correct risk. Okay. All right. So I don't want to just make this video super long winded, but I really want you guys to let this sink in. Okay. These numbers, I mean, you see how fast this slope goes. I mean, we ended up all the way at 900%. I mean, at this point, you might as well just take your money out, put it back in your bank, and just start from zero with fresh money. Okay. What I did in the beginning actually was to take one of my hobbies, building computers and doing some other stuff, and I funneled a little bit of that money into my trading until my trading paid for itself. All right. Long story short, there you go. All right, guys, keep this in mind. Remember, beginners, 0.25% risk, 0.5% risk, that's on a combined. Okay. If you have a $3,000 max drawdown, risk $100 a trade. It's going to give you lots of opportunity to lose, and it's going to give you more and more and more opportunities to win. Okay. All right.